Namaste, Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. A very warm welcome to all of you on this Weekend with Wisdom series. And in this series, we have been talking and discussing about the life and works of Advaita Acharyas. In this particular series, we are focusing on the life and works of Swami Sivananda Saraswati ji. And to guide us through the life and works of Swamiji, we have Swami Brahmanishtananda Saraswati ji joining us. Before introducing him, I would like to chant a small invocation. समस्त जन कल्याणी निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। Swami Brahmanishtananda Saraswati ji is a monk from the order of His Holiness Sri Swami Sivananda Saraswati ji, Rishikesh. He is a disciple of His Holiness Sri Swami Chidananda Saraswati, the former president of the Divine Life Society. At present, Swamiji resides in Lord Sri Jagannatha Dham, Puri. He spends most of his time in Himalayas too. Swamiji conducts regular classes on yoga, philosophy, religion, healing, and meditation retreat sessions for spiritual seekers, students, and corporates in Himalayas. He facilitates sessions on self-development, stress management, and stress relief, character building, positive thinking, right attitude, success techniques in life, time management, team building, and pathways to peace of mind. His retreats are attained by spiritual seekers in India and abroad. Swamiji has devoted his life for transforming the society and recreating path for changing thoughts, self-empowerment, self-belief, breeding love for God and his creation. He also teaches courses on the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, Bhaja Govindam, Narada Bhakti Sutras, and Patanjali Yoga Sutra in retreats. This year, on the International Day of Yoga, he addressed 450 scientists in DRDO, headquarters New Delhi, on the subject Yoga for World Peace. Recently, he also addressed 650 plus doctors all across the country who congregated in the Odisha Endocrine Society conference held in Mayfair, Bhubaneswar. Swamiji was associated with Bharat Ratna and former President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalamji on specific projects and events. Once again, expressing our gratitude on behalf of Indica Moksha for having you here, Swamiji, for accepting our invitation. I would now invite you to take over the session. Over to you, Swamiji. Thank you.
जो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं जो वै वेदांश्च प्रणयति तस्मै तमहम् आत्मबुद्धि प्रकाशार्थं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमरुतः स्तन्वन्ति दिव्यैः स्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदे गायन्ति जं सामगाः ध्यानवस्थित तद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुषुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मत् आचार्यपर्यन्तं वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। नारायणं समारम्भाम् आचार्यत्रयमध्यमाम् अस्मत् आचार्यपर्यन्तं वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ओम नमः शिवानंदाय गुरवे सच्चिदानंदमूर्तये निष्प्रपंचाय शांताय निरालंबाय तेजसे नित्यशुद्धं निराभासं निराकारं निरंजनं नित्यबोधं चिदानन्दं गुरुर्ब्रह्मा नमाम्यहम्। Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kanshachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Sri Krishnang Bande Jagadgurum Sri Krishnang Bande Jagadgurum Namaste Sarade Devi Kashmira Puravashini Tvamaham Prarthe Nityam Vidyang Buddhim Chadehime. Namaste. Hari Om Namo Narayan to everyone. Salutations at the divine feet of Gurudev Sri Swami Sivanandaji Maharaj, to the entire lineage of Guru Parampara, to my own Gurudev Sri Swami Sivananda Saraswati Maharaj. And we are in the second day on the life and works of Swami Sivananda Saraswati, the founder of the Divine Life Society, Rishikesh, Sivananda Ashram. So there are few incidents I am narrating when Swamiji left Malaysia and reached India with a thought of contemplating and meditating the city of Varanasi, that it might be a very calm place, serene place for sadhana. He first went to Varanasi, Kasi. He spent some time there. Sometimes he slept on the roadside, sometimes in some ashram verandas, and he never knew Hindi. He could not speak Hindi at all. And all the time he started speaking either in English or Tamil. So it was a problem whenever he happened to enter to any ashram. People think him otherwise and they do not admit to the ashram for a night. So he spends most of the time during his parivrajak time in Varanasi, in the state of Maharashtra, on the verandas and sometimes under the trees. So from Varanasi, someone helped him for a ticket to Pune. So from Pune, after the ticket, whatever little money was there with him, he spent in charity again. From the childhood, having a tendency of sharing and donating whatever I have, I will share it with others. So whatever the ticket was done and a little money was left, by the time he arrived in Pune by the train, all money was exhausted, little change was there. He also donated to the poor people in Pune. From Pune, he started walking and went to Pandharpur and other places, so many places in Pune. And there is a place called Thalaj where he stayed for 4 months in the house of a postmaster, in Thalas. So there he helped the household person in cooking, in serving, and because the postmaster used to come lately home, sometimes he used to shampoo his feet, keep ready of the buttermilk and other eatables for the postmaster. So like this, he spent 4 months almost in the state, 4 to 6 months in the state of Maharashtra, and especially in the location called Dhalas. From there only, he came in contact with another postmaster who happened to be the friend of this postmaster of Dhalas. And he asked him, you are an educated person, you can fluently speak English, you look like a saint, because though he has not taken that time the sannyas robe, but his aura, his tall figure, Ajan Bhujalambita, and the glory in his grace in his face draw the attention of the other postmaster who happened to be the friend of this postmaster in Dallas. So he asked, why don't you go to Rishikesh for tapasya and sadhana, and you can do uninterpreted meditation, silence and study, and contemplate more in the location like Himalayas. And so I book your ticket to Haridwar. So that is how from Dhalaj, Dr. Kuppuswamy, traveling all part of Maharashtra, he came to Haridwar. By the time he reached Haridwar, it is cold winter, and he is not habituated to stay as a mendicant, as a sannyasi. He's all his life he spent in luxury in Malaysia, in Malaya. So somehow he was managed, and from Rishikesh, from Haridwar, he started working to Rishikesh. So Rishikesh, while coming into the Rishikesh, his mind was completely absorbed in God, and he decided that I will not leave this beauty and serenity of the place till I attain to the highest. And yesterday also we have discussed many of his incidents of tapascharya, like for days together, not going out of the room in Swargashram cottage, now at present called Tapasya Kutir in the opposite side of the Ganges. And there the tremendous austerity combined with service for the poor and needy sadhus, those who lack of food, lack of knowledge, they suffer. Rishikesh those time inaccessible by road even, and there is no train line. Then people have to walk from Haridwar to Rishikesh. So somehow, though he was not touching even money, his thought came that I had little savings in Malaysia. Maybe that money, if I bring, I will be able to help the poor and needy sadhus here in Rishikesh. So that is the first, and he took the help of a lawyer, get the little money like 5,000 rupees or something that time, and he put in a savings account, and monthly interest, whatever he got, he bought milk, barley, sagu, and all other like such articles which can be served in the nearby huts of the sadhus in Rishikesh, those who have become very old. So, along with his austerity for hours together meditation, chanting of Lord's name, study, and going to the library time, he spent most of his time in serving to the old sadhus, diseased sadhus in the colony of Rishikesh, bringing hot milk for particular persons, and separate food and fruits for other persons. Like this, the initiative, the seed, which brought the dispensary, charitable dispensary, nearby to the Lakhan Jhula that time on the Badrinath road. So, not only as a sannyasi or something, he was serving the whole world, the humanity, but it was his inborn nature. Childhood time also, we have been discussing how Ambrosia, though when he is a student, he is circulating the famous health magazine that time, the Ambrosia, and he continued that for a long time, even if staying in Malaya. So here also the same thing, apart from his sannyasi's rules and regulations of spiritual practices, meditation, studies, or serving became a part and parcel of Swami Sivananda's life, and the regular articles of Swami Sivananda in the famous magazine that time, the My magazine, drew the attention of all young and educated people all over India. And so many youngsters came to Rishikesh in search of God, and they took shelter at the feet of Swami Sivananda Saraswati Maharaj. And Swamiji, in the long run, with the training of the Yoga Vedanta University that time, the Yoga Vedanta Forest University. And now it is Yoga Vedanta Forest Academy, but Swamiji started with the name called Yoga Vedanta Forest University. And after the training, Swamiji also initiated to sannyas, which includes women. There are many women who took sannyas from Swami Sivananda, and they served Swamiji both in India and abroad also. The central message of Swami Sivananda, the central teachings of Swami Sivananda is the declaration of the same Shrutis, the declaration of the Upanishads. O man, you are divine. The life, the temporary life which you pass on this planet, it is a temporary phase, and this is earthly life. Beyond this earthly life, there is a divine life. with a systematic, continuous, protracted, sincere practice, prayer, combined with karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, raja yoga, kundalini yoga, or any yoga, follow any path and combine all paths, make the yoga as the synthesis and get out of this vicious cycle of birth and death. That is the central teachings of Swami Sivananda. Your life is not for yourself, your life is for others. Live for others. Whatever little you have, share it with others. So, whenever Swamiji sees a student is coming for karma yoga, he puts into action. And those who are more into serious meditation, study, and contemplation, Swami Shivananda sent them to Badrinath or Kedarnath or more to Gangotri and Uttarkashi. And those who needs training, Swamiji keeps them in Rishikesh, putting them in different diversified activities of the ashram. When different people come to Shivananda Ashram Rishikesh during those time, I'm talking about 1940, 1950, as the Sivananda day-to-day reveals. At a time, the press is working. The bhajan hall, continuous bhajan is going on. The constructions of building is happening. Same time, the Ganga Arati and the feeding the fishes in the Ganga also happening. The new construction are happening. Training of the youngsters and the brahmacharis also happening. Same time, the magazines, publications, and visitors meeting. Swami Shivananda had a very strict timetable. This is the time he will be in the office. After the time, he is confined to his own room, which we know as called the Guru Kutir in the bank of the Gangas. Just adjacent to Mother Ganga is the Guru Kutir, where Swamiji lives. Swamiji lived for decades together after coming from the opposite bank of the Ganga called the Swargashram or the Tapasya Kutir. So sitting in that small room of Rishikesh, where we don't have any windows facility at that time, these articles, his writings, spread all over the world and people started coming to Rishikesh. That is how we have discussed. It became Shivananda Nagar. Shivananda Nagar and the training of the disciples, then spreading of the Divine Life Society centers at a time in India and abroad. Translation of Swami Sivananda's 300 plus publication in different languages of the world. These are the timings I'm talking when Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan comes to the ashram, the presidents and prime ministers and the VVIPs, and the Swamiji's birthday, etc. Swami Tapobanji used to come also. Many saints, many mystics of the Himalayas, they all congregated in Rishikesh. Rishikesh was no more inaccessible to world and public. It became a center of attraction to the whole world. Though the Rishikesh has been known since time immemorial, but Shivananda's contribution is huge, and anywhere in any part of the world you go, take the name of Swami Shivananda, the people immediately add it to Rishikesh, and the saint and the sage and the godman of Himalayas and Rishikesh. That is Swami Sivananda Saraswati, full of love, incarnation of compassion. And here I quote Swami Chidananda Saraswati says about the Guru. The Swami Shivananda was an incarnation of Lord Shiva. So the work, the contribution to the world and humanity in the form of literature, training of the disciples and students, at the same time working till his last breath on the 14th of July 1963, he sought for the whole world and humanity. He never restricted to his teachings in any copyrights. Swami writes very clearly in the autobiography of Swami Shivananda, I don't have any copyrights. I don't take it as my own for royalty sake or something sake. Anywhere in any part of the world, any language, my writings and teachings should be published and people should take advantage of the teachings. They should get out of this sorrow, suffering of the world. This world is full of suffering. Death awaits every moment. Time is God, God is time. Serve all, love all. And if someone asks, Swamiji, can you give me a single word advice? He says, meditate. And the two words advice, then he says, be good, and also he adds do good. Then what is the way out? How can I evolve my progress? Swamiji replies, if you are a child, your mind is more inclined to intellectuality. Your more light is to discrimination and intellectual. Then you follow the main path as Jnana Yoga, then combine little from Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Raja Yoga. If you are more in mind is into seclusion, meditation, contemplation, you can study and sometimes spend more time in deep meditation. If your mind is to devotion, then Swami has got many publications. Sankirtana Yoga, then Kalau Keshava Kirtana, Japa Yoga, and the glory of Lord's name, and Lord Krishna, his Viraja's teachings, the Kali Shantana Upanishads. The Upanishad, many Upanishads translated to English and published. So these are the huge contribution, and now it is all available in digital format. Any other things you want, you can download from the internet, and the basic principle, the basic vision, and the essential teachings, which Swami Sivananda has already told, and I have already discussed yesterday. The central teachings can be summarized into three major instructions of Swami Sivananda. It is 20 spiritual instructions, science of 7 cultures, then universal prayer, combined with resolutions or resolve forms, and spiritual diary maintenance. And when the new year is approaching, there are specific new year messages. The days, the weeks, the months, and the years are divided, and God is present in every second. Every second, God is coming before us. So recognize God's presence, recognize his divine presence in the form of time, and utilize it to the very second. These are the messages of Swami Sivananda. And prepare yourself to welcome the glorious new year, where you have to transform and transcend your little self and identify yourself with your own true self, the Atma. However, there are few incidents during Swamiji's Parivrajak time. I will combine here. Swamiji traveled, and there are incidents in Jagannath Dham Puri, where Swami Sivananda comes and enters to the temple. He's a tall figure and very bright and gorgeous looks. The priest thought the foreigner has entered to the temple. So they stopped him. But Swamiji said, I am a monk, I am not a foreigner. And he sang a song in the name of Lord Sri Jagannath Mahaprabhu. So it is published, the prayer to Lord Sri Jagannath. Then from Jagannath Darshan, he went somehow by Nirgundi was a railway station nearby to the city of Cuttack. That was the stop. And from there, he started walking. Somehow, a householder spotted him, a great sadhu is going there. So he invited him to his house. So one incident took place there. The house, he came to know a little baby is there. In Chaudhar, I'm talking about this incident. And the baby is in high fever, or health is not good. So they invited the Swamiji, the sadhu, wandering sadhu, to come and bless the child. So now Swami Sivananda enters to the child and gives him one with a red cloth with one anna rupee, and advises the parents to feed him a little banana. But the child is in huge fever. So anyhow, because of the advice of this wandering sadhu, they did like that. And the next day morning, the child was recovered. And then the other person nearby, the neighbor, in the middle of the night, he saw a huge light is coming from his neighbor's house. So by the time when he went there and he saw in the middle of the night, Swami Sivananda is sitting in deep meditation and samadhi, and a bright aura light is covering the whole room. So anyhow, we will not discuss here the miraculous aspect of Swami Sivananda. The training of the Sannyasins, sending them all across the globe in different fields of Hatha Yoga, Raja Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and with the message of the synthesis of yoga or yoga of integration of yoga. So either you follow the path of karma yoga or jnana yoga or raja yoga or kundalini yoga, or combine all yogas at a time and get rid of this cycle of birth and death. Oh man, you are immortal. This physical body, the name and forms are temporary and vanishing, and behind these names and forms, the immortal soul, the immortal Atman, that is your real Swarupa, attain this state by prayer, japa, meditation, shuddhaya, charity, mauna, seclusion, surrender, and Guru Seva. So many people ask Swami Sivananda, so I am an educated person. I have gone through all the scriptures. Why do I need a guru? Swamiji writes in detail. There is a very excellent book. That book name is called Guru Tattva, a book which will give you the definition of Guru, the characteristics of the Guru, the starting from the ancient Vedic period to the medieval and the modern times, and also a small abridged version of the entire Guru Gita, dialogue between Lord Shiva and Parvati, there itself in the book, in the conclusion, Guru Tattva. There Swamiji writes very, very clearly. You might have got higher education, you might have got scriptures by heart, but when you do the practices, you follow the instructions, there are many pitfalls which on your own you cannot clear it. मोहे लागे लगन गुरु चरणन की, गुरु चरणन की, चरण बिना मोहे कुछ नहीं भावे, चरण बिना मोहे कुछ नहीं भावे, आत गए गुरु शरणन की, मोहे लागी लगन गुरु चरणन की, गुरु चरणन। मीरा के प्रभु गिरिधर नागर, मीरा के प्रभु गिरिधर नागर, हाथ गए गुरु शरण। Even Lord takes incarnations, he sits at the feet of Guru. Acharyavan Purusho Veda, he who has accepted a Guru can know the highest truth. Acharyavan Purusha Veda. So Purvesham api Guruhu Kalanan Obacheda. He is the Guru of the Guru of the Guru of the Guru, undivided by time, space, and position. Undivided. So Purvesham api Guruhu Kalanan Obacheda. So the tradition of Guru Parampara, Sadasiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmad Acharya Padjatam Bande Guru Paramparam Narayanam Samarambham Acharya Traya Madhyamam Asmat Acharya Padjatam Bande Guru Paramparam. So Swamiji gives a befitting reply that you will do sadhana on your own intellect as you have grasped all the scriptures. But the truth of the scriptures will be revealed with the grace of the Guru. The hidden truth, the secret truth of the Upanishads. Jasya deve rabhakti jatha deve tatha guru tasyate katita hartha prakashante mahatma. He who has the devotion to God and the equal devotion to his own Guru is the one to whom the secret knowledge of these scriptures are automatically revealed. So it is not with the pedantry, it is not with the flowery talk, it is not with the Sanskrit grammar, how much you know, it is not with the intellectual gymnastics, how you with others, it is not with your oratory or the book writing skill or thesis or the encyclopedia you write, but it is with the devotion to the Guru, one attends to the highest. And Swami Sivananda on this book, Guru Tattva, it's a very fantastic book. If you have already in the process of Guru Parapara, it's okay. If you have not accepted anyone as your Guru, read this book, Guru Tattva by Swami Sivanandaji Maharaj, which combines a abridged version of Guru Gita there also. There, Swamiji writes very clearly, without the grace of the Guru, you cannot expect any improvement on your spiritual life. However, in the next chapter, he also writes, people get admitted into colleges, but all do not qualify. So one may get initiation from a Guru. I'm quoting from Swami Sivananda from the book of Guru Tattva. One may get admitted into a college like for admission as a student, but if you don't study, you will not get the certificate or you will not qualify exam. So also, even if after accepting the Guru, if the highest attainment, if the realization, if the bliss, if the continuous awareness of God, His presence everywhere, every face, including yourself, myself, and others, is not happening, then there is something lacking in the individual sadhana. Surrender to the Guru, surrendering the ego at the Guru's feet, and some lack of proper abiding the instructions of the Guru. So, Swamiji has written also books on Guru Bhakti Yoga. One can, just like Raja Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Kundalini Yoga, through Guru Bhakti Yoga alone, one can attain immortality, one can attain the eternal bliss. And here Swamiji writes in his autobiography, I quote here, I have not seen again my Guru Swami Visvananda Saraswati, but he blessed me with everything. As you know, Swami Sivananda took sannyas from Swami Visvananda Saraswati of Bharani, but it was a short meeting, and the saint went to Bharani with the necessary instructions. In the latter stages, the famous institute where Swami Vivekananda studied, known as Kailas Ashram, Kailas Pit, there, under the guidance of the Kailas Pitadishwar, Puja Swami Vishnudevananda, Swamiji's final rituals were done. The Viraja Homa was performed by Vishnudevanandaji of Kailas Ashram. Kailas Ashram is the institution's old, very ancient institute in Rishikesh, where Swami Vivekananda studied. There, Swami Vishnudevananda did Viraja Homa for Swami Sivananda Saraswati. So, Gurudev writes in many of his poems, so I have not served you. My Guru, he is addressing, of course, Swami Visvananda Saraswati, that I have not served you. I have not shampooed your feet. I have not put garland on your neck or the feet, but you have graced me with everything. So Swamiji's Guru Bhakti and the book called Guru Bhakti Yoga, those who are in tradition of the Guru Parampara, those who have already taken shelter at the feet of the Guru, any Guru of any religion, doesn't matter, must read this book, Guru Bhakti Yoga by Swami Sivananda Saraswati, and another book called Guru Tattva by Swami Sivananda Saraswati. Then if you are a student of Vedanta, if you are into inquiry, and if you are more into the Vedantic side, then please refer to Swami Sivananda's book, How Vedanta Can Be Put into Daily Practice. So the most powerful, and though it looks like a book for the beginner, but it is a book for the elderly person also, Vedanta for beginners. Then if you are very, very highly, you feel yourself highly developed in Upanishads and Vedanta, then I would request you, you must buy online this book called Brahma Sutras by Swami Sivananda Saraswati. So Swamiji comes down to the basic ethics and morality. He says, you start your spiritual journey with selfless service. Start from here, combined with a little charity. Even if your package or the income is very less, being a householder, at least try to spend 10% of your income for the charity and the poor and the needy. needy. And go for a systematic routine. Make a rigid timetable for yourself with flexible alternatives. What time should I wake up? What time should I do yoga? What time should I meditate? What time should I go to office? How much time should I spend time in, etc., etc., etc. And there is a cross-check point also, which I discussed yesterday and putting it again now, called the maintenance of spiritual diet. Every book, whether it is Your Ways for Success in Life Correlation, whether it is yoga for students, where it is called this Bliss Divine, any book of Swami Sivananda you refer, or the 4 yogas of on the yoga sadhana, or any yoga book of any of the books of Swami Sivananda refer, Swamiji put emphasis on the resolution forms and the maintenance of spiritual diet. It will, you become your own teacher. So when you prepare the daily routine, this time I will give for meditation, this time for charity, this time for study, this time for my office, this time for physical exercise, and accordingly before going to sleep, you maintain the routine, and there has a cross check. How many times, how many minutes you have spent in gossip, unnecessary talk, one column is there. So then only one will realize actually how are we misutilizing time. Swamiji says, and here I quote, the night that has passed will not come back again, just like the flow of a Ganga river has gone down, cannot recede back to origin. So every moment, every second, God is coming to us in the form of time. And now this present moment, the very second when I speak to you all, and this is what to recognize God's presence right now, here and now. Rejoice and rejoice, again and again I say, God is here and now. Rejoice and rejoice, again and again I say, God is here and now. Rejoice and rejoice, again and again I say, God is here and now. Swamiji has got many formulas. One formula he used to quote, it is called D-I-N. So what is D-I-N? Swami says, Swami Sivananda writes, do it now. Okay, this class will be over. In the evening, I will be free from all my TV serial and other things. I will meditate. No, it is good. You can meditate, not a problem. You do it more. But right now, when I speak, when you listen, your eyes are riveted to the screen and looking at me. Meditate right now. Chant right now. Be in the awareness right now. And that is the teachings of Swami Shiva. However, because the mind has got a tendency of going, coming, and fluctuating and not being steady, that is why Swamiji put more emphasis on the resolutions. Resolutions forms. Resolution forms are available in the website. You can download resolution forms by Swami Sivananda. It will come, and I would suggest you can make it little flexible. You can add 1 or 2 more points. You can delete some point, add, alter, delete, or whatever as per your convenience. You can do it, but do it. And Swamiji says D-I-N, D-I-N. So resolutions forms and putting the technique, actually, the things which you feel like I should not do, I should do not procrastinate. Alasya Manusyanam Angastha Maharipuhu. The greatest enemy is sitting in each and every individual is known as alasya, procrastination. Procrastination. It is alasya. Alasya Manusyanam Angastha Maharipuhu. Ripuhu we know. Sadaripu everybody knows. Maharipu, the greatest blockage, the greatest, the most powerful force obstructing us from our own growth is procrastination. Delaying something, or will do it later. So time passes away. Think of the period we have gone through. Few days are left to welcome the new year. Half of the day in India time now, it is already gone. This is how every moment, every second, though God is appearing to us, we ignore his presence. There Swamiji hits and Swamiji says, you will do it later on, it's all right. But do it now. And Swamiji puts his formula DIN. DIN. You can Google it, Swamiji's article will come on DIN. You put the article called Procrastination by Swami Sivananda, huge articles will come. Anything I've told you yesterday, it's a thumb rule. Anything you want on spiritual life, religion, or even health or hygiene or yoga or exercise, anything of the world, put that and by Swami Sivananda, Google will give you everything. However, every book, many of the things Swamiji repeated again and again. So Swamiji has been asked, Swami Sivananda has been asked, the same thing you have repeated, you have written this book, again the same article you have put it here. Swamiji answered to this. Swami Sivananda says, there are some universal, minimum ethical and moral things. Doesn't matter what religion or caste or the Guru Parampara you belong to, the universal pose one has to abide by. In order to hammer the individual mind again and again, like non-violence, like truthfulness, like purity, kindness, compassion, these are I highlight in all of my books again and again. Serenity, regularity, absence of vanity, sincerity, simplicity, veracity, equanimity, fixity, non-irritability, adaptability, humility, tenacity, integrity, nobility, magnanimity, charity, generosity, purity. Practice daily this 18 it is, you will soon attain immortality. Brahman is the only real entity. Mr. So and so is a false and non-entity. You will abide in eternity and infinity. You can't be ordained in the university. Serenity, regularity, absence of vanity. Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. These are the cultivation of virtues. There is also a book by Swami Sivananda, Cultivation of Virtues and Eradication of Vices. Again and again, in most of the books, the speciality is Swami Sivananda's book. Out of the many important highlights, one is abruptly you read any pages of Swami Sivananda's writings at least for 120 seconds, 2 minutes, 120 seconds, full attention, read Swami Sivananda's writings, and it will infuse your mind to practice. It will force you to practice because of the height of the self-realization of the seer, because of the height and the force of the self-realization of illumined master. So the cultivation of virtues and eradication of vices, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Daiva Swara Sampad Vibhag Yoga, and another book is called Kingly Secret, Kingly Science. Very, very small, but very powerful book. Kingly Secret, Kingly Science. Kingly Science. Kingly Secret, Raja Vidya, Raja Yoga. But Swamiji has put different big articles there. That is also for a student of Vedanta, student of Karma Yoga, those who are practicing serious meditation and study into Vedanta also must have a copy of this book. Kingly Secret, Kingly Science by Swami Sivananda Saraswati Maharaj. So now if there is any questions, we can go for any questions. Then I will brief you on the India and Ceylon tour of Swami Sivananda Maharaj, which happened in 9th of September, 1950. So Dr. N. Anantanarayan describes in his most among the 156 biographies, and you see a saint of Swami Sivananda of statue status where his biography comes in a number of 156. Out of 156 biographies, I would recommend you to read the biography of Swami Sivananda by Ananta Narayanan, From Man to God Man. Swami Sivananda, From Man to God Man. Yes, Chelaji.
Yes, thank you so much, Swamiji. One of the seekers is asking where they can purchase these books. Is there any source?
Very easy. You can go to online www.shivanandaonline.org and another one www.dlshq.org, and Amazon will deliver you any of these books in no time. And if you buy it from the ashram, you will get discounts. Very huge discounts are there.
Wonderful. Thank you, Swamiji. So, Swamiji, the song which you just shared
It is
about
called
the
the Song of 18 Itis. Song
song
of
of 18
Itis.
Itis. Okay. This
Now,
is composed by Swamiji?
it is, Swamiji has numerous English songs. I don't get by heart all those.
Okay.
Govinda bhaja Govinda, do not smoke Govinda, do not drink Govinda, get up for him Govinda, do japa Govinda, do Shraddha Govinda, 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 Govinda bhaja Govinda, never lie Govinda, speak the truth to Govinda. Like this, huge songs are there. I don't get by all this by heart, but you can go to YouTube. You can go to YouTube. You put songs by Swami Sivananda, original audio. All will come with videos.
Wonderful. Superb.
So this is a famous song by Swami Sivananda. It is called the Song of 18 Itis.
18 Itis.
18 Itis. And everywhere, that is the beauty of Swamiji's writings. So humor, and it goes to very simple English. At the same time, it will not only hit you, it will touch your soul. So Song of 18 Itis highlights the cultivation of virtues, attainment of the highest. So Swamiji, in the conclusion, he says, you know, people used to come where I am a professor, I am a doctor, I am a university, I have got 3 PhDs. So for them, it is written, and in the lastly, Swamiji writes, these can't you attend these university, serenity, regularity, absence of vanity. So you have to understand, it's your academic knowledge. You might have many degrees or anything, but these needs the spiritual basics, the spiritual ethics and morality. It's with humbleness, purity, and sincerity. That is what this song describes, and it's the cultivation of all virtues. Song of 18 Itis. You put Song of 18 Itis, you will find. Google will give you everything. If you don't get online, then go order online, and Divine Life Society will immediately send you the books to your location with discounts. But maybe Amazon, you may not get discounts.
Right, right. Thank you, Swamiji. And could you tell a little more about some of his students?
Yes. Yeah. So now you put Swami Sivananda, it will come immediately in Google Sivananda Yoga. Sivananda Yoga. So Sivananda Yoga, to the foreigners I'm talking especially, say they call yoga. That means it's only asanas. But it has gone in such a huge depth and spreading all across the world. And the credit goes to one of Swamiji's foremost disciples, Pujya Swami Vishnudevanandaji Maharaj. Germany has got a Yoga Vidya Center. And Swamiji spent his last days in Gangotri. When you go to Uttarkasi, in the Netala, there is the center of Shivananda Yoga Center is there. And in the Gangotri, when you go up beyond the temple, when you cross the Sarada Kutri of the Divine Life Society, then you find the cave of Swami Vishnudevananda there. And I am just quoting Swami Chaitanyananda, who is having Sivananda Ashram in Ujeli. Ujeli in Uttarkasi, there is one ashram. Swami Chaitanyananda was there. He has got an autobiography. he quotes he writes and we quote, Chinmayananda Swamiji has come to Uttarkasi. Both are discussion. Now Chinmayananda has become, I will talk about Swami Chinmayananda also. So now Chaitanya Swamiji and Chinmayananda Swamiji are discussing, and Chinmayananda Swamiji is saying to Chaitanya Swamiji, you know the amount of work and influence Vishnudevananda has done in these decades, we have not able to do so. So this I'm quoting Swami Chinmayananda in conversation with Chaitanya Swamiji in Uttarkasi. So this is the impact of yoga. Especially I'm talking about the Hatha Yoga combined with Vedantic training, Upanishads and Gita. And especially the yoga teachers training in Nayarda. You know, many qualified yoga teachers I find in India and abroad, they are well trained. They only work for asanas and pranayama and healing sessions. They are all expert yoga teachers. And where are you certified from, sir, madam? Now we are certified from Nayarda, and it is the place where Swami Vishnudevananda did his hard work. And all yoga judges and trained from there. Then as you know, another student, and he is a very big world figure, and it has been compared to Swami Vivekananda also. The amount of impact what Swamiji Chinmayananda has done in the West, especially in USA, after Swami Vivekananda's visit, is simply, praiseworthy. The amount of centers has come up. The amount of the foreign mind, especially the American minds, it is the impact of Swami Chinmayananda. And I don't know whether all of you are aware or not, a young, powerful, educated journalist rushes to Rishikesh in search of fraud sadhus so that he can print an article in his newspaper, and he goes and sees these sadhus can speak English. They are more, and this Balakrishna Menon, that time his name, he thinks these are the people living in Rishikesh and Haridwar. They are just consuming the national property. That's all. And they should come into the limelight. I will just expose them in media. And he stays in Rishikesh bus. And father used to write a letter to Swami Sivananda, actually such a highly educated person. How have you kept in your ashram? Then afterwards, Swami Chinmayananda became a very world figure. And his father writes that, what good you have done to my son. So those who gone through the biography of Puja Swami Chinmayananda, they know it in detail. And even when Swami Sivananda was in physical body, Chinmay mission started. I have the great opportunity of sitting at the feet of Swami Chinmayanandaji, and I heard his powerful discourses on Bhagavad Gita as a student during that, in my student career in Chinmay mission, guided by Swami Amayananda in Cuttack that time. So the impact of Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, the Vedantic secrets of you call Drukdusya Viveka or the Panchadasi, etc., bringing it to the educated mass, to the highly educated mass where IAS officer groups are sitting in the front. It is the grace of the powerful thirst of Swami Sivananda through Swami Chinmayananda. And of course, Chinmayananda Swamiji went for higher study with a recommendation letter from Swami Sivananda to Swami Tapamanji Maharaj. You are aware or not? Okay, I will take 3 minutes time now. So Swami Chinmayananda wanted to go for higher studies on Vedanta and Upanishads. Swami Sivananda sent him to Tapamanji Maharaj in Uttarkasi. So that time you cannot go by car or anywhere. You have to walk down. After 7 days, Chinmayananda Swamiji, he reached Uttarkasi. By the time he reached Uttarkasi, Tapamanji Maharaj said, oh, Sivananda Swamiji has sent you for higher study. Where is the letter? I want to see Swami Sivananda's letter that he has sent me here. So other disciples were sitting with Puja Swami Tapamanji, they are all watching. And again Chinmay Swamiji has to come back to Shivananda Swamiji and request him for a letter, and Chinmay Swamiji again goes back with the letter. Then the students, those who were that time with Tapobanji Maharaj, they asked Tapobanji Maharaj, you know it very well, Guruji, that Shivananda Swamiji has sent him here. Why you again sent him back? You look into his biography and the latest movie released. There Tapobanji Maharaj says, I wanted to test his patience. The minimum qualification a disciple should have. Then if you look into the third next disciple of Swami Sivananda, as I perceive in a global field, the huge contribution by Swami Sachidananda. Sachidananda has more impact upon the foreigners and especially in USA. And he constructed the first world interfaith temple. First interfaith temple, you Google it, will come the temple of by Swami Sachidananda. Sachidananda with a beard. Sachidananda with a beard, and there are many photographs. Sachidananda Swamiji, Vishnudevananda, Venkateshananda, Sahajananda, Pranavananda, all are sitting together. And these are the time when there is no toilet in the Rishikesh. And these young people to whom about we have been talking has entered to the arena for Rishikesh Sivananda Ashram, and they go outside and compare. Now the students are coming to the ashram with attached toilet and washing dishes. Then the fourth Swamiji, of course, he did a human service, the whole of South Africa. Huge publications, and he created a parallel Sivananda ashram in South Africa also, where Ganga is flowing. Which Ganga is flowing, Swami Sahajanandaji Maharaj in South Africa, direct disciple of Puja Swami Sivanandaji Maharaj. When he arrived in the Rishikesh, he said, Guruji, what can I do for you? Swami Sivananda said, can you type and prepare tea for me? Learn to type and prepare tea. The first instruction he got. So he used to type, and that is, he has got huge contribution in South Africa. Most of the Divine Life Society books in a very good format and photographs and a good publication with good pages. It belongs to the, all credit goes to Puja Swami Sahajanandaji Maharaj of South Africa. Then the books you see, the compilations you see now of the many of the articles and writings, it is all contribution by Swami Venkateshananda. Venkateshananda got a huge impact, and Venkateshananda has got many of Swamiji's lectures transcribing and publishing into books. For example, in the India Shillong tour, whatever daytime Swami Sivananda will speak, these Guru Bhais and especially Swami Venkateshananda in the toilet would sorry, I was disconnected. Can you hear me all?
Yes, Swamiji.
So if you have gone through the book in detail, I don't know, but if you have any inquisitiveness to go to the very essence of Vedanta, and you love intellectual gymnastics, then Yoga Vasishtha scriptures should be read, reread, scrutinized, contemplated, and meditated upon, which comprises of 72,000 verses. And here is a huge contribution from our Venkatesanandaji. The book name is called The Supreme Yoga, Part 1 and Part 2. Supreme Yoga, Part 1 and Part 2 by Swami Venkatesanandaji. But serving the Guru, the moment Swamiji Sivananda gives a lecture, the same night translating and bringing into format and compiling the books, all credit goes to Swami Venkatesanandaji Maharaj. So Vishnudevanandaji Maharaj, Swami Chinmayanandaji Maharaj, Swami Sahajanandaji Maharaj, and Chaitanyananda I said about in Uttarkasi, and Venkatesanandaji, Vishnudevanandaji, Sahajanandaji,
Maharaj.
Sachidananda Swami.
Yes.
These are all prime disciples who took the Shivananda already world figure. Shivananda's books only reached everywhere, but they made different, more impacts in the world platform on Swami Sivananda, including some women saints like Sivananda Radha, Swami Hridayananda Mataji, and so many other women, those who worked very hard in India and abroad also. Now also the books which whatever the list I have given, you can put the list, it will come. It have all been digitalized, and you can freely download from the website I mentioned. And some of things you will find in the YouTube also, like Swami Sivananda's original voice, the videos and audios, you will get there.
Wonderful, Swami. Thank you. We don't have any more questions. You may continue now.
Yeah. Hari Om. So now the Ceylon tour of Swami Sivananda along with All India tour, it is the first time happened under this. Another disciple who happened to be a disciple of Swami Sivananda of Ramakrishna order, he also came to Swami Sivananda of Rishikesh. His name was Swami Paramarthananda. And Swami Paramarthananda, he is the chief architect of the organization and organized this All India Ceylon tour. 9th September 1950, Swami Sivananda, leaving from the Rishikesh, he traveled most part of India, disseminating the Shastras, Shrutis, and his own teachings in the form of discourses, meetings, then songs, kirtans, and connecting the trip with Sri Lanka also to Ceylon, undivided India that time. So this is called the Bharat Jatra of Swami Sivananda, All India Ceylon tour, where for the first time after the Tapasya, after the settlement of the Divine Life Society as an organization, Swami Sivananda embarked for a tour, and the specially tour included bhajans and kirtans, continuous bhajans. There are many places where he did 7 days kirtans and Nam Jagnyas, then Jnana Jagya also. Swamiji, so far disseminating the spiritual knowledge, Swamiji put much emphasis on Jnana Jagya. Jnana Jagya. Swamiji writes, and here I quote, you give a food and a chapati to a beggar for a day, you appease his hunger for a day. You give some money to a person, you give him little support for a day or two. Like this, Swamiji goes on writing. You give knowledge to a person, you give everything to the person. You give everything to the highest thing you ever give, it is the knowledge. Amanitvam adambhitvam ahimsa khanti arjavam acharya upasanam saucham stajyamatma vinigraham indriyarthesu Prana Nityortham Tatyanartha Darsanam Etat Jnanam. So starting from Amanitvam, Adambitvam, Ahimsa, Khanti, Arjavam, Acharya, Upasanam, Saucham, Starjam, Atma, Vinigraham, Indri, Arthi, Vairagyam, Mana, Ankara, Jivacha, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, Dukha, Dosanu, Darsana, etc., etc., etc. O Arjuna, this alone, etad jnanam iti proktam. Alone is the knowledge, and or you interpret in any way. Rest all others, etat jnanam iti proktam, ajnanam jatat anyatha. So Swamiji again come back to the ethics, and this verse Swamiji highlights in many of his books. Bhagavad Gita, you should look into this interpretation, how Swami Sivananda interprets. Though there has been hundreds and thousands of interpretations of Bhagavad Gita all over the world, including foreigners, but if you are a lover of Gita, read at least and refer to the book of Swami Sivananda and Bhagavad Gita interpretations. You will definitely find the commentary in a different. So in me, yeah, I have seen 40, 50 more than books on, in a systematic study of Bhagavad Gita, but I find the commentary, not that he is my guru, of course he is my guru, but the commentary is so simple, understanding, and Swamiji make you, force you to practice. Make you to practice. Then the timing, when the disciples has covered all over the world, Divine Life Society is one of the international top organizations. The main teachings, truthfulness, non-violence, and purity, kindness and compassionate to all, forgiveness for everyone, including the enemies. This is Swami Sivananda. So Sivananda Swamiji lives in his teachings, in his writings. The writings are very, very powerful. You, whether good or many people discuss on Kundalini Yoga. Many miscommunications, misconceptions, misinterpretations. But here the writer is a doctor. Swami Sivananda was a doctor. If you are into Kundalini Yoga or such Hatha Yogic practices, please refer to his book, Kundalini Yoga by Swami Sivananda. And Swamiji writes, if your ethical and moral standards of life is perfect, if your foundation is perfect, if you completely abide by the ethics and foundation and morality of spirituality or religion, Kundalini will be awakened naturally and automatically. You need not worry for Kundalini awakening. Kundalini is automatically awakened in those who are one pointed to the devotion to his or her guru. Kundalini awakened automatically, naturally to them who thinks of others, who those who are away from the shackles of this selfishness, egocentric attitude. I, mine, my father, my brother, my wife, my children. Those who are out from this boundary, mind is always helping and serving others. To them, Kundalini is in our naturally awakened. Those who practice with their own awareness, they might not be knowing what is Kundalini. They might not be doing what is this Kundalini awakening, what is this serpent power in the body, what is this Hatha Yoga, etc., etc. Need not be, but their Kundalini is already awakened. Because these practitioners, they abide by very strictly and rigidly the minimum ethical and moral standards. To them, spirituality is natural. And those who practice 6 hours, 7 hours on the study of the books, meditation in isolated places, but lack of ethical and moral practice. It is of course good, at least instead of wasting time in some worldly activities, the person is engrossed in meditation or in reading scriptures. It is good, no doubt. But the result is not coming up, Swami Sivananda says, because of improper, unethical, not abiding the minimum foundation, ethical rules and regulations of yoga, religion, and spiritual. That is why you might be working very hard for illumination. You might be working day and night for reading and cramming all the, Panini Bakarana to all the Upanishads. but illumination, talk of illumination, talk of realization, talk of realizing that I am not this body and mind, I am the immortal self. It will naturally come. Kundalini will be naturally awakened. Those whose mind are service for others, away from the selfish motives, away from the hidden motives of selfishness, egocentric attitude. So the Kundalini Yoga, if anyone is practicing Hatha Yoga and maybe curious about Kundalini and other things, because Swami Sivananda was a doctor, you will have a detailed study on this excellent book. It is called Kundalini Yoga. Kundalini Yoga by Swami Sivananda. It is also very famous. And Swamiji has given the scriptural description. Swamiji has also another book, 100 books. I cannot describe all. Tantra, Nada, and Kriya Yoga. You see Kriya Yoga, world famous now. Swamiji has written a book. The book name is Tantra, Nada, and Kriya Yoga. That is book is there. Music as Yoga. This much big volume book. Music as Yoga. Sankirtana as Yoga. So when we think on the higher dimension of Swami Sivananda, he lived for others. And the message is very clear. And again, I repeat the same. Oh man, you are not here on this earth plane for a temporary period of time. You were never born, not will you die. In between the process of this physical body, this life you spend on this earth, but your true identity, your actual identity is the divine and Satchidananda Rupa. And Swamiji has got hundreds and thousands of bhajans to his credit. Swamiji's collections of bhajans also in one book. Now there is a famous song called the Song of Chidanand. Chidanand, Chidanand, Chidananda ho, har haal mein almast Sachidananda ho. Chidanand, Chidanand, Chidananda ho, har haal mein almast Sachidananda ho. निर्भय और निश्चिंत चित्त चिद्घनानंद हूँ, हर हाल में केवल कुटस्थ आनंद हूँ. Knowledge, bliss, bliss, absolute. In all condition, I am knowledge, bliss, absolute. Chidanand, Chidanand, Chidananda ho. Har haal mein almast Sachidananda ho. You are not this body, not this mind, immortal self you are. Radiant Atman. Inquire, who am I? Know thyself and be free. Inquire, who am I? Know thyself and be free. This is your duty, foremost duty, therefore do it now. Do not postpone. So said Swami Sivananda. This is a famous song of Swami Sivananda. It is being sung. It is there in the YouTube in Swamiji's own voice, Swami Sivananda's own voice. You can find Song of Chidananda. Chidananda, Chidananda. This is the real identity, real Swarupa. Due to Ajnana, Avidya, Avarana, the true identity we have forgotten. With the devotion to Guru, with the systematic practice and the systematic study of the scriptures. And you see, when we talk about Vedanta, so there comes a powerful minimum qualification. And Swamiji has a book on this. I don't know whether all of you are aware or not. However, you can download freely on the internet. It is called Sadhana Chatushtaya. You might have heard many lectures on this. Go through the writings and commentaries of the minimum qualifications required. Tad Vigyan Arthesu Gurumeva Vigache Samit Pani Srutriyam. With the minimum qualifications, the disciple should approach to an illumined master who himself is enlightened and has knowledge of the all scriptures. And there the scriptures says about the minimum qualification, sadhan chatushtaya. So Swami Sivananda, to his credit, has this small book, but very, very powerful, book. Many of times I order this. I also keep with me. Swamiji says, this sadhan chatusthaya, if any of the virtues, only one virtue you can qualify. However, it is a simultaneous process. All the virtues to be practiced simultaneously. But Swami Sivananda writes, this minimum qualification of sadhan chatusthaya, if one virtue at least you practice, you will get illumination. So he gives the example of mumukhatva or shraddha or anything you practice, just practice. So again and again, when you will conclude a book out of the 300 books of Swami Sivananda, every chapter, every paragraph, every book with a conclusion come with you, impelling you, provoking you, forcing you to practice those things. It is only the practice, 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 and practice, and practice, and practice, and practice, the desired object of the illumination, self-realization, or you will give any name, it will come. There are many verses, many words Bhagavan repeats in Bhagavad Gita many times, and one such word everybody knows, abhyas. Abhyasena tu kamteya vairagyana chokiyat. Abhyas yoga juktena chetasa nanyagava. Then Patanjali repeats the same thing. Abhyasa vairagya bhyam tan nirodha. So again and again, you go to any religion, go to any of the teachers, where you will go to practice, practice, practice. So now the question is, I am attending the session, I am speaking to you, I am reading this book, I am attending the class on, is it for my intellectual growth only, to show my oratory, to write a book, publish it, or come in the TV or on the online, or it is to realize? Swami Sivananda gives here a warning note. A seeker must not be showy in nature, and to his many of the instructions, especially those who are accustomed to the word sadhana, the huge volume like a Oxford dictionary, big volume, it comes, the book sadhana. Nowhere else you will ever get such a book reflecting and throwing much light upon the scripture, starting from the Vedic period to the modern times and the new techniques. What Sivananda, being a doctor, being monastic life, has been given instructions and practical methods of practice. Then you must have this book called Sadhana. The book name is Sadhana by Swami Sivananda Saraswati. So any book you refer, you will find the conclusion of the pages of the paragraph or the chapter or the conclusion book to practice, 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 and practice. So here I speak, here you listen, or you read, listen, anything. This is only for the information. So by listening, by talking, by writing books or something, so I become an informative center. I have got enough information. But here Sivananda Swami says, do you have realization? Practice will give you realization. Sincere practice will give you realization. If you have got, do you really cry for God? Do you really want for his darshan? Very small but powerful book. Very small, 4 inches by 6 inches size. The book name is Light, Power, and Wisdom. The first line begins, Light, Power, and Wisdom. Do you really want God? Or you want the creation of God? So it is depend upon the intensity, the mumukhetva, the tibrata, and the sincerity, how and when and what I want really in life. So Swami Sivananda hammers this point again and again and again on all of his 300 books, plus publications, audio, video, everywhere. What you really want? Do you really want God? God is standing before you with outstretched hands. Sing like Mira. Do like prayer like Prahlada. Swamiji writes in his Bhakti Yoga. So let this session in the life and works of Swami Sivananda put us into the proper method of practicing the Vedantic truths of Shruti and Shruti, identifying our true nature, true self as the immortal self, not keeping the information and become a storehouse of knowledge and gathering the informations, but how can I implement in my own life and practice when I live, not in the far new year coming 2023, right now, this sitting here when I sit, how can I practice? Swamiji gives a very quick and easy method. Swamiji writes in his Japa Yoga book, The easiest, quickest, shortest, surest, safest method to realize God is continuous, constant remembrance of Lord's name. I'm repeating again. This I quote from the Japa Yoga book by Swami Sivananda Saraswati. The easiest, quickest, shortest, surest, and safest method to realize God in this Kali Yuga is constant, continuous chanting of Lord's holy name. Namasmara. Very easy. When I'm speaking to you, I can practice. When you are listening, you can practice. When you are driving, you can practice. When you are studying, you can practice, 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 practice. Then it is embedded in the subconscious mind and the Nama Smarana becomes very, very powerful. You will be sleeping and in your own awareness, subconscious mind must be chanting. Those who have done Purascharana, those who have done 6 to 7 hours of continuous chanting, they will understand what I'm saying. So if you talk about Swami Sivananda and his contribution, Swamiji's method is practice. There are 3 types of teachers, as everyone knows. Every speaker also speaks on this. The first type, the second type, and the third type. The first type teacher, just like 3 doctors, they compare. They say that, okay, this is the patient, this is the medicine I have taken. Have you taken or not? The second type teacher sometimes calls over the phone to the patients and says, have you taken the medicine? How is your health? The third teacher never calls nor asks. Third teacher comes to your doorstep and put the calling bell. Ting, ting. Have you taken the medicine? No. So he forcibly put your throat and put the medicine inside. That is the method of Swami Sivananda. And here I quote from the Sivananda day to day. Swamiji used to wake up himself by 3:30. The students, when I talk about Swami Chinmayananda, Vishnudevanananda, Sahajananda, Chidananda, Krishnananda Swamiji, they are all students in Rishikesh that time, inaccessible, and people have to walk from Haridwar to Rishikesh. 3:30, Swami Sivananda wakes up and Krishnananda Swamiji says, and I quote, that huge sound of thok, thok, thok in front of our door. Hari Om, Hari Om. Wake up, this is Brahma Murti. So this is the teacher and the method of teaching of Swami Sivananda, where he comes to your doorstep in the Brahma Murta time, in the thick, glossy Himalayas of 4 a.m. You think of the winter time, and he calls in the doorstep, wake up, meditate. So practicing his teachings, putting those into a seriousness of getting out of this mess of the samsara, realizing your own identity, this will be the highest service Indika Mukhya can do to all his viewers here. And this is my offering at the feet of my Gurudev, His Holiness, Sri Swami Sivananda Saraswati, and my Param Gurudev, Sri Swami Sivananda Saraswati Maharaj. Thank you. Any other questions you can put me, or else we'll conclude.
Yes, Swamiji, thank you so much. Seekers, requesting you to kindly post your questions in the Q&A box. What, Swamiji, could you please share what will we be looking at in the next session?
Next session, if you allow me, I can take a guided meditation session and put the teachings into practice. And maybe if they are comfortable, they can go through the particular section called the Science of 7 Cultures by Swami Sivananda. Science of 7 Cultures.
Definitely, that would be.
And
I think that
tell the viewers, those who have already known it is good. Those who do not have, they can have a printed copy. The afternoon session will go for the detailed discussions on Science of 7 Cultures, and we'll have a concluding guided session also.
Wonderful, Swamiji. That would be wonderful. So we don't have any other questions, Swamiji.
We'll conclude now.
Yes.
Om Swasti Pajabhya Paripalayantam Nayena Margena Mahi Mahisha Go Brahmanebhya Swamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varsatu Parjanya Prithvi Sasya Salini Te Soyam Khavarahita Sajjana Santu Nirbhaya Ashubhani Nirachasti Tanoti Suvasantatim Sutimatena Jatpunsa Brahmatan Mangalang Vidong Omkarasa Sabdoso Davino Brahmanapura Katrapita Vinirjato Tasmat Mangalika Bhuvo Om Atavong Mangalang Ashmat Gurunang Mangalang Me Astu Sarvishang Mangalang Bhavatu Sarvishang Purnang Bhavatu Sarvishang Shantir Bhavatu Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Shantu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Mahakasi Dukhavag Bhavet Ashatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityarma Mritangamaya Om Purnamadaha Purnamidang Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O adorable Lord of mercy and love, salutations and prestations unto thee. Thou art omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient. Thou art Satchit Ananda, the indweller of all beings. Grant us an understanding heart, equal vision, balanced mind, faith, devotion, and wisdom. Grant us inner spiritual strength to resist temptations and to control the mind. Free us from egoism, lost greed, anger, hatred, and jealousy. Fill our hearts with divine virtues. Let us behold thee in all these names and forms. Let us serve thee in all these names and forms. Let us ever remember thee. Let us ever sing thy glories. Let thy sacred name be ever upon our lips. Let us abide in thee forever and ever. Let us abide in thee forever. Om Shanti Shanti. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Srinath.
Thank you so much, Swamiji. Hari Om.
Hari Om.